And welcome back to another episode of the Ball Watchers podcast. I am your host Evan Blust, alongside my co-host Joseph Muto. Joseph, how are you doing today? Doing good, feeling rested, feeling festive still. Happy New Year to all the Ball Watchers listeners. We've made another year, Joseph. Exactly. And the football has been beautiful, Joseph. We are on an absolute heater to end the season here, and another week of interesting games. I fear this weekend we might end that streak, depending on how things go. There's not a lot of games with a lot of meaning this week, so we're gonna or we might have a bit of a shorter episode this week, just because we don't have a lot of games to talk about in this upcoming slate of games here. But we've got some big games to recap, and we're gonna also do our award predictions this week because I think our initial award predictions is in that episode that kind of got lost in August, but we'll recap who we picked, and we'll do our final award predictions for the NFL season here. But before we get into that, we have to recap week 17, Joseph, starting with Saturday. Or no, this was Sunday. Sunday, Seattle. Strong second half, as they always have had this season, and they come alive, beat the Panthers 27-17. Beast. They're playing with house money, and I think that's the big thing is no one expected Seattle to be this good this year, and like all credit goes to Mike McDonald and that coaching staff, Clint Kubiak. They've been great, but I'm still scared as a Seahawks fan. Sam Darnold specifically is scaring me, and I don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. Even next like this upcoming week. We'll talk about that a bit later, but the turnover situation is absurd for Sam Darnold. He lost two fumbles in this game. He almost threw an interception directly to J.C. Horn, who, if he could catch, there's a reason he's a corner. Let's just say that. But, like, God, man, he is playing not good football, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, and especially the turnover. It's just turnovers. It's just sloppy. And I think that, like, Kubiak's offense and the scheme has been good. And another positive is I think they've really found the run game the last 2 weeks. They were able to run the ball pretty effectively against the Rams a couple weeks ago, and then this week against the Panthers. I mean, Charbonnet put up 100 yards. Kenneth Walker put up 100 yards last week. Like, they're getting the run game going, and I think that's happening at the perfect time because at this point, like, you need the weight off Sam Darnold's shoulders because it does not feel like he can carry. Well, he it feels like he can carry this team to victory, but at the same time, like I just feel like there's a tipping point coming, and I don't know when, and it's just I'm scared.
both. Sam Darnold did not look good last year in the playoffs against the Rams, and hopefully he bounces back. But for the Panthers, I'm kind of disappointed with this performance. Like clearly Seattle was the better team, but you're going into it like you are supposed to be a playoff team, and the NFL script writers have basically secured your spot in the NFC South with the Falcons beating the Rams last week on Monday Night Football. And so you just want to show a little bit more consistency. Like, how are you so good against teams like the Rams and the Packers? You're good on all facets. And then all of a sudden you put up duds to both the 49ers and the Seahawks, who you will play one of those two teams in the NFL playoffs 2 weeks from now. So it's just weird to me. Like, Ted McMillan only having one catch in this game. Like, I don't care if he's getting double teamed. How does your number one weapon offensively only have one catch? I think Bryce Young is being extremely inconsistent. I thought the defense kept them in this game for the majority of the period, and just like they have no run game anymore. I don't know where it went from the middle of the season. It's just such a weird team. So they've bounced back, and they're a feel good story, especially from where they were 2 years ago when they thought Bryce Young was a complete bust of a first overall pick. But now it's like, okay, this like facade of this is a unicorn Cinderella story. I think that's over. I think that's in the past. You're a playoff team now. Are you going to be competitive in the playoffs? And yes, you're going up against better competition, whoever you play against, but can you show a little bit of fight so your game can be somewhat competitive in 2 weeks?
100%. I mean, that's the big thing is they just do not look competitive week to week, and I think that it all starts with Bryce Young. He is so up and down, and it raises, we can talk about this more later, but it raised a lot of questions, I think, going forwards past this season. Like, yes, this season has 100% been a success for the Panthers. I mean, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're probably going to make the playoffs, all things considered. So just that in and of itself is a huge success. But I think when you look at Bryce Young specifically, like his floor and ceiling week to week this season is so different. Like he'll go out there, throw for 150 yards, or he'll go out there and throw for 450 yards. Like there is such high variance in his level of play. And I think that that really affects the Panthers and their chances. And I mean, one thing that's going for them right now is that defense is playing way better than the sum of their parts right now, and I think that that's a huge reason they've been able to be competitive and kind of fight through these like inconsistent stretches from Bryce Young. The other thing is their run game is really strong and they have a strong offensive line, but like you need Bryce Young in a playoff situation to throw for more than 200 yards, I think. Like you cannot be competitive in a playoff environment throwing for that much. And they definitely benefited a bit this year from having an easier schedule and playing in an easy division, but they still won games that they need to win against good teams like the Rams and the Packers, like you said, Joseph. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like they're as strong as the rest of the competition in the playoffs. But at the same time, they're like they are, in my opinion, stronger than anyone else in their division. And then at the end of the day, for getting into the playoffs, that's all that matters. All right, next game here. Derrick Henry, 200 yards, Joseph, on the ground, over 200 yards against the Packers. And I mean, they're still alive somehow in this playoff race.
Get to this in a little bit, but for this game specifically, we've been asking for years, like 2 years, Todd Monken give Derrick Henry the football, and I think the number one reason why they won this game is because it almost was like beneficial to the Ravens offense that Lamar Jackson was out in this game. And I know that's absolutely crazy to say, but it forces your hand if you're the offensive coordinator to give the ball to your best player, and that's what Derrick Henry is. And yes, Lamar Jackson is a two-time MVP, and Derrick Henry has had some fumbling woes, especially this season. But that's not an excuse to give your like first ballot Hall of Famer running back only 12 or 16 carries in a game. It should be minimum 22 to 25. He got 32 in this game, and look at the results. Like you need to give Derrick Henry the football. That's what's successful, and that is your only hope right now. It's like you're watching Star Wars and Princess Leia is on the telegram like telling Obi-Wan Kenobi that she's my only hope. And yes, there's Luke Skywalker and Lamar Jackson, but Derrick Henry is your only hope if you want to get back into the playoffs and salvage somewhat of a brutal season if you're the Baltimore Ravens. So Derrick Henry was an absolute beast. He's continuing to be a beast at 32 years football, it's Derrick Henry. It's always been Derrick Henry. This offense is going through him. You're using Tyler Linderbaum, who's looking great in the running attack, and just opening up the AMV gas for Derrick Henry. It's beautiful. So give Derrick Henry the football more. I think this is a recipe for success. He is your primary source of offense. And I think Lamar Jackson is more electric than Derrick Henry. But if you want to win football games and consistently win football games, Derrick Henry's your guy. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's clearly Derrick Henry. And I think this Ravens offense has to go through him the rest of the season if their season continues after this one.
Crazy that we have been talking about Derrick Henry and him needing the ball, and like he has 1,500 rushing yards this season. Like it's not like he's like sub 1,000 yards. Like they're really not giving the ball. Like he still gets that many carries. It's just it is really such a weird balance for this Ravens team, right? Where Lamar Jackson is an MVP level talent at the quarterback position, and you want the ball in his hands so he can make plays, but at the same time like you said, you have the equally a talented player at the running back position, and running the ball is just safer. And I think that there's a lot of issues with this Ravens team outside of their offense, and a lot of it stems from their defense. Their defense has been terrible this year, outside of a handful of games, and especially even in this game, they were not good. And it was just that the Ravens' offense got working, but a great way to mitigate the effects of a terrible defense is take them off the field. And if you're running the ball, you're chewing clock, your defense is going to be on the field less, and that's a recipe for success. So I think that they were able to do that in this game. They were able to get a couple stops when they needed to and just keep pushing ahead, keep scoring points on the ground. And I think that for me, it's not even a Derrick Henry thing, in my opinion. I think it's just run the damn football. Like, Lamar Jackson's an MVP, but at the same time, he's a guy who struggles a lot with injury. Just run the football, especially when he's injured. Like, if Lamar Jackson's not 100%, that should be an automatic switch where you are like running the football as much as you possibly can, and you're just letting Lamar like throw the football only when absolutely needed, essentially. And I think that like you have Derrick Henry, who's your lead back, and Keaton Mitchell, in my opinion, is such a good like change up option, third down kind of back where he is so fast. And it just switches up from Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry is going to pound up the middle. He's going to beat you up, and Keaton Mitchell is just going to run past you. So I really love that running back room, and I think that that is, well, especially this season with Lamar injured, is the key to success. But I think going forwards, like mitigating Lamar's injury risk. And yes, maybe he won't win another MVP, but at the same time, long-term success I think looks like keeping Lamar healthy, keeping Lamar especially into the playoffs and being able to run the football. And we know like Derrick Henry doesn't have a lot of years left, but I think he doesn't seem to be slowing down. He has at least another season, and I think the recipe that you need going into next season.
Top 3 running back in the league.
100%.
He's still in the tank. And for the Packers, like, yes, this was a bad game, but I love the spot that the Packers in. First of all, Malik Willis has played himself into a starting job in 2026. Like, I think there are a lot of teams hungry for a quarterback who don't have a high draft pick this year, and Malik Willis fits that mold perfectly. And you see too many times the NFL is really failing at like drafting these quarterbacks and developing them in house. They have to go somewhere else, find a better, position,
Sit.
and then have the opportunity, and it's like, wow, this guy looks awesome. And that's happened with Malik Willis. Like he was supposed to be a first round pick. I think he should have been a first round pick over Kenny Pickett, obviously. And then he goes to Tennessee and he just completely fails. They fail him, and then he gets the backup job in Green Bay, and he's looked incredible over these last 2 weeks. Like he's making such accurate throws in this Matt LaFleur system. And those legs are a problem for opposing defenders. Like those legs, they are a serious weapon for Malik Willis. So I love what the Packers are doing. Yes, they gave up so many rushing yards to Derrick Henry, and that defense did not look good against him. But Malik Willis kept them in this game for the majority of the game, and he did it last week with the Bears in a very tight game. So back to back tight games, both losses, yes, but I mean the Packers have firmly gripped on the seventh seed. They don't have to play for anything against the Vikings this week. They could treat this like a first round bye. Get Jordan Love healthy, get Malik Willis some more reps, and if Jordan Love's healthy, great. You probably play the Bears, who you can easily beat, and you're set. So I really like the Packers, the situation that they're in, but most importantly, I love how LaFleur is using Malik Willis. And I think Malik Willis is probably the number one quarterback in the free agent market right now. I know that's crazy desperately needs a quarterback who probably can't get one with a top 5 pick.
Well, I think the big thing with him too, and we'll definitely get more into this in the offseason, but even if you're not a quarterback needy team, like or not necessarily or like a team that doesn't have a high draft pick, if you're a team who does have a high draft pick, like I think you're still looking at Malik Willis, like the Raiders, in my opinion, like you draft a guy like Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, maybe you have him sit for a year behind Malik Willis, at least part of the season. Like I think there's definitely guys who we've seen hit their stride immediately, like a Justin Herbert. But at the same time, there's so many first round picks, like a Sam Darnold, like who take time to develop. Even yeah, I don't know. Sam Darnold's probably the best example that I can think of right now. But just like guys who it takes time, and even just having a season for a guy like Mendoza or Dante Moore to just sit and learn the system, I think can be so beneficial for them versus just being like, all right, you're starting week one. This team kind of sucks, and you've never played in the NFL before. At least Malik Willis has played, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns in that game. But the biggest improvement we've seen is passing. Like he's getting accurate with his throws, he can make throws on the run. He's getting the ball deep down the field. Like he just is doing what needs to be done. And I think that a big thing is it's not these like wide open throws. Like he's making touch throws down the field. He's making the right decision. And I mean, they were close this whole game. Like they were coming from behind, and a lot of this had to be on Malik Willis because the Packers were behind for pretty much this entire game. So just seeing him stay calm under pressure, make the right decisions, make good throws, not put the ball in harm's way very much in this game, like it was just very impressive. And I mean, I think the other thing with this game is, like you said, Joseph, the Packers, even in this game, they didn't really have anything to play for. And I think that the Ravens really did. And that's kind of why we saw this game go the way they did. I don't feel any better about the Ravens after this performance, but they needed this game and they got it done. And yeah, I don't know. We can just touch on this quickly too, is just the Steelers. I mean, they drop a tough game to the Browns, keeping the Ravens in this race because the Ravens losing last week had them out of the race. But at the very least, with the Steelers dropping that game, we have a very exciting matchup this weekend.
It's stupid. DK Metcalf is the reason we lost, and he was boneheaded. He gets suspended, and he's suspended next week. And you have Aaron Rodgers, completely peppering MVS with targets, and MVS is like he's done nothing in his career, but because he played for the Packers all those years ago, Rodgers is giving him targets. It's just stupid. On that last play, Kenneth Gainwell is wide open on a drag route on the left side, and Rodgers is just not even looking that way. He's going MVS the whole way, and he's complaining it was pass interference. I don't think that it was pass interference, and I don't think the refs are going to call it that late in the game. So
Even if it was, like, that's not how you should be. You should not be playing for pass interference.
exactly. So play for points. You put up 6 points against the Browns defense, and Miles Garrett didn't do anything. And I know the Browns defense is incredible, but it goes through him. And the fact that you shut him down, but only put up 6 points, is just it's ridiculous. And your defense really stepped up when it mattered most. They shut down Shea Dirk for the majority of this game, but that one touchdown just did it. And it's a brutal look for Aaron Rodgers in this offense. It's not completely on Rodgers. They didn't run the football effectively either, but to me, it's mostly on DK Metcalf. How do you make such a boneheaded? We missed him. We missed him big time, and he should have been in this game.
Yep, that's the issue with some of these diva wide receivers, man. They don't have their head screwed on tight, and that's why the George Pickens getting rid of George Pickens was confusing, considering who you brought in. Next game, though, Texans, their defense is unstoppable, it feels like at this point, and they get a big win over the Chargers. They can still win the AFC South.
Because the offensive coordinator, I don't know his name, but he went in with a script in the first 2 drives of the game, and
Worked to perfection.
Jesse Minter is stacking up the box because he's thinking, okay, the Texans want to establish a run early and often, keep their defense off the field well rested. And the offensive coordinator just played into that. The third play, Jaden Higgins hits a 75-yard hitch route all the way for a house call. And then the next series after that, CJ Stroud is hitting crossing routes to, Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. And then boom, Jalen Noel, 45-yard touchdown on a out route. It's just like, wow. It was perfect. And honestly, that is all they needed because after that, the script was done and the Texans just wanted to run the football. They did it in such an inconsistent way because their offensive line is terrible. And that defensive line for the Chargers putting the Chargers on the Texans side of the field. And this Texans defense is just, it's incredible. The fact that there were two backup tackles for the Chargers and you have Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson on the other side, that should be a hate crime, bro. Like Jonathan Herbert, he was all over the place in the first half. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't move the ball offensively. In the second half, he made a big time adjustment, and a credit to him. He was stepping up in the pocket, shedding these 250-pound defensive linemen. But I mean, there was literally nowhere to go. And I have never, ever seen a defense with absolutely zero holes. Like, I was watching this game, and Aziz Al Shair on the inside linebacking court, Pro Bowler, rightfully so. But Henry Ato'oto, this guy, watch the tape on this guy. He is a monster. Like, he shut down a Marion Hampton single-handedly by himself. Like, his rushing ability and to just make open field tackles is just crazy. Jalen Petrie in the slot, playing safety, it doesn't matter. Like, every facet of the Texans defense, they shut him down. And all you need if you're the Texans offense were those two first series. And then that's it. That's all you need. You need to put up 10 points and then you can win because this defense is just second to none. So I genuinely believe I'm taking the Texans to go to the Super Bowl. After this
Wow.
performance, like I don't know a single offense in the entire NFL that can put points up against this Houston Texans defense. I can't because they are just so elite at every single level. Even Sheldon Rankins on the inside of that defensive line made a ton of plays in this game. I'm shell shocked at how good the Texans defense is, and I'm all in with this team. I don't care how bad the offense looks. I think that defense will single handedly bring them to the Super Bowl.
It's insane. I mean, the fact I was watching a video on this the other day, but they don't disguise their plays like defensively. Like they just rush for. It's not like the Mike McDonald scheme where you're mugging up the line of scrimmage. There's six guys. You don't know who's driving into coverage. Like they don't disguise things. They don't blitz. They literally just rush four guys and like everyone else is back in coverage. And they do that every single play. And they're the best defense in the NFL. Like that is so much of a credit, I think, to the players and just finding players that fit your scheme and know what to do and are just smart rather than anything else. Like it's not as much a credit. Like you're not confusing the opposing team. You're just better. And you see that at every level, like you said, Joseph, and it's so impressive. And offensively, I think that's the big thing where it goes for the Texans. And this is where what you wanted to see from this team because if you go back 2 years, CJ Stroud's rookie season, what made that team so good offensively? They threw the ball deep and they threw it deep effectively. And we just haven't seen that. Like it did not work at all last year. And this year we've seen it in bursts. Like Nico Collins has had a couple big touchdowns, and we saw it at the start of this game. And I think that that opens up a lot for this Texans team. We know Stroud can do it, and I think that that's where he feels comfortable is in that just bomb air raid style offense, and that's what you need to see from the Texans going forward. It feels like they're figuring things out. Yes, Stroud had some bad turnovers in this game, but I think that that's also just the Chargers defense is one of the best in the league as well. Like it was a tough matchup of two really good defenses, and the Texans defense is better. That's why they won this game, but at the same time, like I also feel good about this Texans offense because if they can accurately throw balls deep, that opens up so much in the run game. It's going to balance this offense out. It feels like, for the most part, they're playing really just smooth football, and it feels like they're just hitting their stride perfectly at the right time here for the Texans.
Something there was nothing they could do. I don't think there was a single thing where the Chargers could have improved. It's just the Texans were just that much better, and so I love the fact that Jim Harbaugh is resting Justin Herbert this week against the Broncos because
It's needed, man. Holy.
guarantee Trey Lance is going to get peppered against the Broncos, and Justin Herbert's going to get peppered in the playoffs regardless of who they play. That offensive line is just completely desecrated, and the wide receivers just are not getting open for this offense. So Justin Herbert feels like he has to do it all by himself, and even the interception on the goal line before the first half ended to Gadsden. I mean, you got to catch that ball, bro. How do you let it go through your fingertips and Alshire just picks it off? And Herbert is being asked to do it all, and he needs a lot of rest going into the playoffs, whoever they play. So I think resting him against the Broncos is huge, especially because you can't win the AFC anymore. A couple spots isn't going to make or break you. I still think the Chargers are going to try and win because they want to play the winner of the AFC North because that's the easiest matchup, obviously, to get that 5 seed. So, but desecrated with injuries, and running the football and passing the football is very tough for this team because both those tackles are out, and that's where this team makes their bread and butter.
Justin Herbert too is doing it all. Like, oh my God, he is Superman this year for this Chargers team, and it's not enough. Like in some of these situations, and I think that he needs to sit next week. That hand needs to heal because he needs to be as close to 100% as possible if the Chargers want a chance. Because offensively, there's nothing else. It feels like the running game's pretty inconsistent, just because I mean you're missing so many guys on that offensive line. And then, yeah, you have these boneheaded plays by, or not boneheaded, but just like bad plays by some of these receivers. And it's like, where else was Justin Herbert supposed to put that ball? Like, literally, it hit both of your hands. So bad look there. But at the same time, like, it feels like there is still some of the elements of that earlier season Chargers offense that was really humming, where like they hit Quentin Johnson for a big play down the field in this game. Like those kind of things are what you're going to need in the playoffs. So I think giving Herbert a week off, let him rest, and they'll come back fighting whoever they're playing in the playoffs. But yeah, this was a huge win for the Texans. I really hope they win this AFC because I don't know, man. The Jaguars are just exhausting, man. Like I like this Texans team. I'm excited about this Texans team. So give them the win. All right. Next game here is the Bills. A critical 2 point conversion at the end of this game. Josh Allen misses the throw, and the Eagles come out of Buffalo with a 13-12 victory.
Because I want to blast Josh Allen. You know how badly I do, and you know what? I can a little bit for this play. It's an inaccurate throw at the
I
end.
think it's not on him as much as it seems. Like, oh, dude. I mean, the thing is, on that play, too, like, he is running around for like 10 seconds before he throws that football. Like, he's tired. It's an off platform throw. Like, yes, it's a really bad miss to a wide open guy, but, like, I feel like that's not that uncommon, especially when you're, like, running for your life that much before you throw the football. I don't know. He should have.
This game, it's just like it's how do you not have a wide receiver at Josh Allen's disposal? It blows my mind that you have a top three quarterback in the NFL and you cannot get him a number one wide receiver. That's what it came down to. We're in the year 2026, and I see that Brandon Cooks has 100 yards, and it's not
He
even a
did have a crazy catch in this game,
that
though.
was a it wasn't even a true 100-yard performance. He had four catches. Like it's just it boggles my mind. Josh Allen had nowhere to go with the football, and the recipe to beat the Bills is to shut down James Cook. And how are we in this position where defenses are like, we're not going to let James Cook beat us. We're going to let Josh Allen beat us because Josh Allen, when it's on his shoulders, he's going to make brutal turnovers. He had two fumbles in this game, one recovered by the defense. He had inaccurate throws all over the place. But what else is he supposed to do? No one is open on this football team. There's Cooks, who they signed in the middle of the season. There's Shakir just catching the garbage underneath stuff. And then I can't name another I can't name another wide receiver for this team. Keon Coleman went MIA, and there's just no one to throw the football to. And how are you, as an organization, you've been juggernauts for years, and you can't pay a top tier wide receiver? Who else are you paying outside of Josh Allen? James Cook, who's making what 8 million a year? That's chump change for NFL teams. So it clearly showed, especially when the defense for the Bills on the other side of the football shut down Jalen Hurts in this offense, created a turnover. Outside of that first touchdown drive to Dallas Goddard, the Eagles had nothing in this game. But you also had nothing even when Josh Allen is dropping back and can be Josh Allen. The wide receivers are just absolutely terrible. This team has to go through James Cook in order to find offensive success. And it's just sad because it shouldn't have to come down to James Cook. It should come down to Josh Allen. He's clearly your best player. He's been your best player over the last 6 years. It's not that he's digressed, it's just because there's nowhere to go with the football. And the fact that that's the case is really sad. And you deserve to be a first round playoff exit because of it. You have your superstar franchise quarterback that you will have for the next 5 or 7 years. You need to surround him with talent. The fact that you haven't is just disgusting by the front office. And that's the number one reason why they won't do anything this year.
I agree. It's just The one time you get a good game from the defense, the offense doesn't show up. And I think that some of that is Philadelphia's defense is great this year. They're finally looking like the defense they looked like last year, where they just give you nothing. There's nowhere to go with the football. They're great against the pass. You have just two massive individuals up the middle to stop the run. Like it is a tough slog in this game, but I think you're right with with the receivers because where is Josh Allen supposed to go with the ball? Like, of course he's turning the ball over in some of these games, and it doesn't feel like the old Josh Allen where he had Diggs and he still was throwing like 20 interceptions. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, he's putting it all on his shoulders, and it's leading to these mistakes. And I mean, like I don't even know what to say at this point because it's weird because you have two of these guys. Like Lamar is like this too. Josh Allen's like this, where they're these great players, great quarterbacks, generational talents, and they've never had, or they maybe not never, but they don't have receivers right now. And it's tough to get the ball moving because they do lift up the talent of the people around them, but like there is so little talent. And I love Khalil Shakir, and I think he's such a perfect wide receiver too. But you don't have a wide receiver one taking the attention away from Shakir, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, when they can't run the football, it's really tough for them. And I think that it was really ballsy to go for that 2 point conversion. I think it was the right move, but I think I want to talk about this in our next game here too. But why not run the football in this situation, right? Like it's the end of the game. It's a 2 point conversion. You can put it in Josh Allen's hands on the ground and just drive him into the end zone. I think that it would have been a little bit of a change up for this team. You're not worried about the clock in a 2 point conversion scenario. Like catch the Eagles off guard here and run the football.
It's the toughest thing to watch in football. The fact that you're on the 2 yard line and like 90% of the time just pass play on a 2 point conversion. And I understand you want your best offensive play in a lot of head coaches' minds, but like there's so little real estate to work with on the 2 yard line. I mean, that end zone is only so wide, so just run the football. And no defense is expecting it. They're always expecting the pass. And so it just blows my mind, especially when Josh Allen is really struggling running the football, passing the football. You need to run the ball. Use your best offensive player in James Cook. Use Josh Allen's legs. Like, do something. I think that's how you won, 11 games this year. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I agree with you. Running the football should be the number one priority in every offensive team's mind because the defense isn't expecting it and you have more real estate to work with.
Exactly. The Eagles, man, like I feel horrible about them as well because it's like their defense is really good, but that offense, man, like Jalen Hurts and just that offense in general is so dysfunctional. They can't score. Like this Bills defense, they gave up what 30 points, 30 something points to the Bengals a couple weeks ago. They got even the Patriots game, they got a bunch of points put up on them. Like they're not a tough defense. They're not like they're I think a below average defense, and you could only put up 13 points. You're supposed to be this physical team who can run the football, throw the ball to your big physical wide receiver. Like where is that? What is this team? Like it just feels like I don't know. I don't like this team at all. I don't feel good about this team at all.
Because like yes, 100% everything you said is valid, and this defense is second to none, and that's why they're in these games, and that's why they're winning the NFC East and have won the division already. But
Their division also sucks.
sucks, yeah, 100%. But they have like what 11 wins on the season, and that's a true testament to their entire defense. And this is clearly a defensive team. They were a defensive team last year. They just ran the ball at an extremely high rate, and I think everyone's expecting that. And they've just digressed so catastrophically that people are starting to question it. But at the same time, like, do you trust this Eagles team because they've been here before? They're probably going to play the Rams in the first round. This is a team that they've beaten over the last 2 games going to keep them in games. This is a top 3 defense in the NFL in my opinion. It's just what will this offense do for you? I still think it will ride the course and they can win a couple playoff games, but it's really tough saying that week after week, especially when you put up a dud to the Bills, like Evan said.
I think AJ Brown has single-handedly ruined this offense, man, because he whined and cried so much at the start of the season, and they said, "Okay, we'll feed you the ball." But that is basically exactly the point where he started playing well, and the offense just cratered. Like they can't do anything; they can't score points because all they're focused on is making sure AJ Brown isn't like pissed off and crying in the corner and reading books on the sidelines. Like it's ridiculous, in my opinion. I think he should be gone after this season. And the other thing is that they can't run the football. Like that is another huge part of it. Is teams I think are sitting back. They're forcing Jalen Hurts to beat them through the air, which I think is not necessarily. It's not his strong suit. Like he's a solid quarterback. He can make good throws. He can make good plays through the air, but he's not like a guy who's like I can dice this defense apart. And I think that not having that run game's made it really hard for him. They're not using his legs. They're not guys aren't being pulled down in the box because of those running threats. And I think that that's really taken a toll. And then when you're also just trying to force feed one guy the entire game, it makes it really hard to score points. So they just feel dysfunctional, especially offensively. And like, yes, the defense will probably keep these games close, but like, I don't trust this offense at all to like march down the field and score a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. Like, if anything, Jalen Hurts is going to throw an interception, or it's just going to be a three and out, and then the other team will just kneel the clock out. Like, I just don't trust their offense to do what it needs to do the way the defense can. All right. And yeah, if anything, I think this week made me. I really started contemplating that Seattle Super Bowl against the Patriots where they ran the football. It's like, it makes sense, you know? And it's relevant to this next game here, too. The Chicago Bears, they almost did it on the 5 yard line, 8 seconds left or something. Caleb Williams, incomplete pass, and they lose the game 38-42. No defense in sight, Joseph, in this one.
I'm a little bit more confident going like this, but I I think this was the most complete game by the Chicago Bears, and I think this gives you hope if you're a Chicago Bears fan because everything was working. Too many times we've seen Ben Johnson just take over with this offense with the run game, and then Caleb Williams gets lost, or the run game isn't working, and then Caleb Williams makes some inaccurate throws on the run or takes some real sacks. But both Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson were working in unison in this game. They were establishing a run game with DeAndre Swift. He looked really good in the backfield. Caleb Williams was putting the ball on the money. And I understand that this 49ers defense hasn't looked good over the last couple weeks, but when you see it all come together for this Bears offense, it looks really, really good. There was one specific play where it's third and two. Salah is stacking up the box. They have trips on the left. Loveland is playing in the slot. They play action off of that. They get one-on-one coverage with a linebacker on Loveland, who's running a wheel route. It's a beautiful concept by Ben Johnson. The linebacker does such a good job at blanking Loveland. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams puts the ball on this absolute laser through the linebacker's hands right in between the numbers of Loveland, and it's a pass completed for 30 yards. So it's like the concept was beautiful. The defense adjusted, but Caleb Williams just made such a perfect throw that there was nothing the defender can do. And then that's the type of plays that you want to see from the Chicago Bears going into the playoffs because before this game, it's been like, oh, it's trying to be the Caleb Williams show, or oh, it's just Ben Johnson running the football. What happens when the run game doesn't work? This run game was working flawlessly, but Caleb Williams was playing such good quarterback play. Obviously, the defense is going to be bad. You've known this for the entirety of the year, but the offense just worked in unison, and I think that's what you want to see if you're the Chicago Bears because that's the recipe to making a deep playoff push. If they can have more consistent games like this, they're going to be a very, very scary team for whoever they play.
Yeah. 270 more yards and Caleb Williams hits 400 or 4,000 on the season. They have a good matchup for that in the Detroit Lions next week. I still don't think it'll happen. They'll be pretty conservative, but this game specifically, I mean, I'd like, yeah, you just a complete offensive performance, and I think that that makes you feel so good going forwards. Like this Bears defense isn't good. I don't think it's really been good all season, and I think that that's gonna require some shaking up in the offseason. But the offense, it's fully working. You're not worried about Caleb Williams. I think, in my opinion, just because he does not throw interceptions very often, his ceiling is so high as a quarterback right now. And it just works with Ben Johnson. Your quarterback doesn't turn the ball over, even if he's not playing great. You can run the football fantastically. And then when you need to, Caleb Williams is making those throws. He's gotten better and better throughout this entire season. And they just look hard to beat, especially because you're just going to have to score points to keep up with them. Even if their defense isn't necessarily making plays, can you keep up with that offense right now? And it's going to be a tough thing to do. And the 49ers really did in this game. But yeah, I think another play here, that fourth down, I mean, you have like 5 seconds left, 8 seconds left, or whatever. Run the football because you're not going to get another play regardless. It doesn't matter. And the 49ers are 100% expecting pass. You've been able to run on them all night. Like, why not just give it off to DeAndre Swift or Kyle Monangai and just punch it up the middle? Like, I think it would have been something where the 49ers were not expecting it, and I think it could have worked honestly because they were playing out wide. They were playing back like in the end zone the entire time. Like you would have had room to get a guy into the end zone. It's a 5 yard run. It's tough, but at the same time, I think that like Ben Johnson's creative, and that's the thing I don't get to is the play before that lateral 100% was designed in my opinion. That was exactly how that play was supposed to work to get the first down before that play. And then you run like it just felt like such a basic play. I was like the play before I was like Ben Johnson, you're a madman. And then it was like it just didn't feel like he cooked something up the next play that really like had any juice. And I think that this would have been the perfect moment for some sort of run, some sort of jet sweep, something like that, and just catch the defense on their toes. And it was a disappointing outcome, I thought. And I mean, it's a little more personal for me because San Francisco losing would have given, or I guess it wouldn't have, but it would have made Seattle's path a bit easier to that one seed. But still, I felt like Ben Johnson, the play before, you're like, this guy is a genius, and then it didn't feel like it. The next play had that same kind of juice.
I think the 5 yard line and the 2 yard line, what I said about the Bills, I think plays a factor. So again,
Definitely, 100%. It's
Brock
tough to get 5 yards.
So I like the pass call, but it's tough. It's tough. There's no real estate to work with on the 5 yard line, and that end zone is just so small. But for the 49ers, man, I love this guy. A big cock Brock, bro. 2 years ago, I was on the Super Bowl episode, and I said that he was a top 3 quarterback in the league, and that was a very big hyperbole on my take, and I don't know why I said that, but
Mm.
to me, man, he's just living up to what I saw 2 years ago. And you can say that, oh, it's the strength of schedule and that Brock Purdy's a system quarterback and he has the best running back in the league. But man, some of the throws he was making, bro, it just got me so hyped and so excited. That touchdown pass to Kyle Juszczyk, that is not system quarterback play. You cannot give that to Kyle Shanahan. That is all big cock Brock. And Brock Purdy is playing out of his mind right now. 10 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks. And especially coming from the beginning of the season, especially after that Thursday Night Football win against the Rams, where everyone's thinking, oh, there's going to be quarterback competition in San Francisco. It's going to Mac Jones is coming for the starting role, and Brock Purdy comes back from that injury and he completely puts it to bed. No George Kittle in this game. No Brandon Ayuk all year. That offensive line has been banged up. Trent Williams has not looked like Trent Williams of old this season, and it just does not matter. And I understand that Kyle Shanahan is going to get a ton of credit, and Christian McCaffrey is probably the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year. But Brock Purdy is just making throws on the run with consistency, and he's just making pinpoint accurate throws to guys like Jawan Jennings is the number one wide receiver right now. Like, are you kidding me? Brock Purdy is just playing out of his mind right now. And to me, the reason why the San Francisco 49ers are so dangerous is because Brock Purdy is playing right now. He's the hottest quarterback in the league, and he's the best quarterback in the NFC. Now, Matthew Stafford is there, obviously, but he's been playing inconsistent over the last couple weeks here, especially against the Falcons last week. And so I'm looking at Brock, and it's like, wow, you are probably the best quarterback in your conference. That is a recipe for success and a recipe for a Super Bowl run. I love Brock Purdy. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league at this point. I think he's extremely hot. And I know a lot of people think that he's a system quarterback, but I think he's putting that to bed. And I'm just loving what I'm seeing. He's putting the 49ers team on his shoulders. And I love it. I love it.
I've got to agree, man. I think I've been harsh on Brock Purdy, but he's beating the Tua allegations, and that's all that matters. Is he is definitely a step above that like system quarterback, you needed coordinator. Like he's able to make plays, and I think that he's a guy who can make plays on the ground. He's a guy who can he's just accurate, he's smart, he doesn't turn the football over a lot, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing you need from a guy who's just like he brings up the talent around him. And this has been a really tough season for the 49ers because you didn't really have a wide receiver one. George Kittle's been in and out of the lineup with injury. They like their run game is like genuinely atrocious. McCaffrey, his rushing numbers are terrible. It's just that he's been that effective in the passing game. And then the defense has been pretty up and down. I mean, you've lost so many major guys on that side of the football, and they just they've had their games, they've had bad games, but like this offense is playing unreal the last like month and a half right now. So ever since Purdy came back from that injury, they've just been high level offense, probably the best offense in the league, and it's just really impressive to see. And I mean, they've been such a quiet team this year. Like we've barely talked about them this season, and look at where they are. Like we should have given them a lot more respect early in the season, but I think we were both just expecting them to fall off. The Rams and the Seahawks were making the storylines in that division. They were just like quietly, the 49ers were just kind of quietly trailing a game behind, and now they've caught up and they're in the run for the one seed right now. And I think that they've just had this really quiet season, which I think has benefited them. They've been able to sit out of the spotlight and just kind of play their football, not be distracted by anything outside of their own locker room. And I mean, it all comes down to Saturday night for this team. Fantastic. Great end to the NFL season. That does it for our recap of week 17. Week 18, Joseph. It starts tomorrow. Buccaneers Panthers for the division pretty much, except that even if the Panthers lose this game, if the Falcons beat the Saints, the Panthers still make the playoffs here. So I know it's so disappointing. I just wish it was a win in it.
A lot easier for everyone. But I'm still taking the Panthers. I still think they want to create their, make their own destiny and write their own story here. And I think they're motivated to win. And they're the much better team. Like the Buccaneers have just fell off a cliff. I think they've only won like one game over the last 2 months, which is absolutely brutal over the last 8 weeks. So it's crazy. I just think that the Panthers are playing more consistent football and they're going up against much lesser competition. I mean, there's no like although I was shitting on them at the beginning of the episode, there's no like blame to go around when you lose to the Seahawks in the way they did. So I think the Panthers are motivated to win. I think that they will win. They're the much better team, and they deserve it more so than the Buccaneers to win the NFC South. And I think that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. Panthers got this game. You're right. They're gonna want to make their own story here, write their own ending, and I think that winning this game is exactly that. You beat the Bucks again for the second time in 3 weeks, and you lock your ticket to the playoffs here. I mean, when I don't even know when the last time they made the playoffs was, to be honest. So this is quite the achievement, I think, for this team, and they're gonna want it because I feel like this Bucks team, like they're nothing. They're like a shell, a husk of what they were earlier in the season, and it just doesn't feel like anything has been working out for them right now, and it doesn't feel like this is the week for that. I mean, of course, it could be what happens just because that's sometimes how football goes, but two things is I think the Panthers defense is playing really really solid right now, and I don't think the Bucks offense is playing good. I think that's a pretty even matchup, and then the Bucks defense is an absolute sieve. Like anyone can score points on this Bucks team, and anyone can gain yards on this Bucks team, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think the Panthers are going to run the ball like crazy. The Panthers defense is going to make enough plays to get the Panthers out in front, and then like Bryce Young's going to make some throws. They're going to be able to run the football, and the Bucks are just not like they're just going to be like treading along behind. It'll be like I feel like it'll be like a 7 point game for like the whole game, where it's like the Panthers are in the lead, but the Bucks are close and they can just never get it done to tie the game. It just feels like that kind of game. This Bucks team is just a bunch of like it just feels like a skeleton at this point. Like there's just nothing there. And at this point, they're looking for the offseason. They're looking forward to firing Todd Bowles and moving on, and they're looking at next season at this point, in my opinion.
The Saints are hot, and I love the Saints. Going into next year, look out for the Saints. They're gonna make some serious moves.
Yeah, you cannot rest your I it's also just like, do you really want to rest your playoff hopes on the Falcons right now? Like, absolutely not. Yes, they won on Monday Night Football, but they're not a consistent team by any means. So you definitely do not want that uh as your ticket to the playoffs. Saturday night, Joseph, we're gonna be watching this game. I'm so excited. Seahawks 49ers for everything in the NFC. This is the kind of game you want. I'm surprised this is on Saturday, to be honest. Like, I thought this would be like Sunday night football. It makes way more sense to have Ravens Steelers Saturday night and Seahawks 49ers Sunday. But
Just because I think winning you're in for the Sunday night football game. I think both
true,
of these
that
teams
is
are
fun.
playing. I know it's catastrophic the one in the 5 seed and it makes a lot of difference, but both these teams are playing in the playoffs. So I think that's why they made the Sunday night football game.
True. But also, like, they both kind of suck. You know what I mean? It's like, does anyone really care who makes it in between the Ravens and the Steelers? Like, either of those teams are probably just going to get bounced in the first round. So, anyways, Seahawks 49ers. I've got the Seahawks in this one. I can't not back my boys. I know I was a little pessimistic earlier in the episode, but there's a recipe to win because I think it all comes down to stopping that offense. And what better defense? There's very few better defenses for stopping the 49ers offense than the Seahawks in my opinion. I think that they haven't played since week 1, and I think that both of these teams are looking very different right now, but Mike Macdonald knows how to stop Kyle Shanahan. That's one of the main reasons he was brought in as Seattle's head coach, and I think that that's exactly what's going to happen in this game. I think that you've got Demon Worry playing next level football. He's the perfect kind of guy to go against McCaffrey, man up on McCaffrey. He's an absolute lightning bolt. I think that this Seahawks secondary is healthier than it's been all season right now. Witherspoon's playing good. I don't know where they're going to go with the football because, I mean, it's going to be Kittle or McCaffrey, but I feel like you have guys. Ernest Jones is playing fantastic football. He's like tied for second in the NFL in interceptions right now with 5. Like, I just feel like it all comes down to Seattle's defense and then just run the football. They've been able to run the football the last couple weeks, 200-yard rushing games in a row for Kenneth, or a 100-yard rusher in the last 2 games. So I think that just run the football. Don't make Sam Darnold do anything too complicated. Just play the scheme. And I think that they're beatable. This defense does not have those high level players like Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. So I think Seattle just needs to take control of this game early, play good defense, and they'll get the win.
I love Brock Purdy a lot. And, 2 weeks ago, the Seattle Seahawks put up a terrible defensive performance against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And so you come back and obviously you shut down Bryce Young. But will you do the same thing again with the 49ers? I think the little inconsistency with Seattle's defense, I think Shanahan will take full advantage of that. And I don't care if they have all their starters ready. I think Brock Purdy, they lost 11 starters in the offseason and they've just battled adversity. And yes, they have an easy schedule, but over these last 2 weeks, they've had the Bears and the Seahawks is a very tough schedule. They beat the Bears, and I think they'll beat the Seahawks. They're at home, and I think that Salah will do enough with this defense to force Sam Darnold to turn the football over. And I think that Sam Darnold is going to have to match Brock Purdy pound for pound with all these touchdowns. I mean, Kyle Shanahan has not used his punter over the last 3 weeks, basically. He's just like 30 points is so easy. It's like bread and butter for these guys. So I think that Sam Darnold's going to have to keep up, and I just don't think that he will. I think he'll force him to throw some turnovers. They'll zero in on JSN. This is a well coached defense at the very least, even though they don't have enough talent. And I think the offense will it's so elite, and I think that it's more elite than the Seahawks defense. So give me the 49ers, and I think they win the next.
God, man, I cannot wait for this game. It's going to be good. Tomorrow night, tune in, everybody. That's going to be a good game. Next up, we have a couple cupcakes. There was not a lot of good games to choose from here. I didn't really know where to go, but I decided I tried to go for games where at least there's playoff implications. We're still looking for a 1 seed in the AFC here. Patriots, if they win and the Broncos lose, they get the 1 seed here. They play the Dolphins this week, Joseph.
So so good. They've been consistent, and I know they haven't beaten a lot of teams with above 500 record. I think they only have one win against a team with above job, and Troy Aikman's in the building looking for a new GM. It's so weird in Miami, dude. Give me the Patriots, and I think the Dolphins just want to end on a loss, get a higher draft pick, and look forward to next offseason.
Yeah, I've got the Patriots too. I think it just comes down. The Dolphins' defense is not good. The Patriots are going to be able to score points. Drake May is going to put up numbers. I think he's still motivated just to get that MVP, and this is a big game for the Patriots. I mean, they want that one seed, and they're going to put themselves in the position to get it because they're going to be able to run the football. They're going to be able to throw the football, and then their defense will definitely make enough plays to win this game. Like I just don't see Devon A. Chain single handedly keeping this game close. So, and barring a like blow up from the Patriots offense, which we haven't seen all season, they're just going to cruise to another victory. I mean, I feel like it's going to look pretty similar to that Jets game last week. That offense is just too good, and that Miami defense is just not competitive enough to put up a fight. All right, next game Broncos Chargers. This was more interesting before the Chargers bench Justin Herbert.
Taking the Chargers. This is my
Damn.
take the Chargers.
Trey Lance audition.
Episode keeps getting talked about in the podcast, and in that episode we sang his praises in the Hall of Fame game, and now we're here in January, and he's gonna start Week 18. And you know what? I think he's gonna do it, man. Like I want the Patriots to get the one seed so bad. I think they need it more than the Broncos do. But I think that they will get it just because the Chargers, they're a well coached team. They still have an elite defense. I think that their defense is better than the Broncos defense a little bit more slightly. And I think that the Broncos defense, there's been some inconsistencies. I think Trey Lance is going to utilize his legs a little bit in this game. It's going to give the Broncos defense a different look, and he's going to use these underneath guys in Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen to really push the football down the field. I think that the Texans have a slightly better defense than the Broncos do, and I think the Chargers, they're well equipped with elite defenses. They're going to know how to exploit them. And then on the other side of the football, the Broncos have looked very inconsistent over the last couple weeks. That Christmas Day performance against the Chiefs, that was too close of a game. It should have been a complete blowout, and the fact that it wasn't really scares me and should scare Broncos fans. So they're kind of cold. After that win against the Packers, it's been a completely different narrative for this team over the last couple weeks, and it's starting to scare me. So I think the Chargers, they're a well enough coached team. They can win with Trey Lance. They can run the football, and I think that they will upset the Broncos and that the Patriots will get the one seed.
I like it. I've got the Broncos. I just think one resting Justin Herbert. I don't think like even if Trey Lance plays good in this game, he will not be doing the superhuman Superman act that Justin Herbert has been doing the last few weeks here. And I mean, the Texans might have the slightly better the better defense, but I think when it comes to pass rush, the Broncos are pretty close in my opinion, and I think that that's what it comes down to. Is Trey Lance is going to be running for his life, and I just don't think he has the capability to do what Justin Herbert does in those situations. And yes, he's mobile. He can run with the football, but I think the Broncos are going to get after him. They're going to put him under pressure, and he's just going to become inaccurate. Might make some mistakes here, and I think that the Broncos are going to capitalize. Bo Nix too has played so much better this second half of the season. And the last matchup we saw was a very close game, and Bo Nix was not playing how he is now. And I think that you're going to come out here. The Broncos will just lean on Bo Nix. He'll make some good throws. They'll get some stuff deep down the field to Cortland Sutton, and they'll be able to win this game. It probably will still be close just because the Chargers do have a good defense, but I just can't trust Trey Lance to do what Justin Herbert does behind that offensive line. And I think that Bo Nix has been just playing a lot better, and they're like the Broncos are definitely motivated to get that one seed as well. So I think that they've just got that motivation. They want to win, and they're not like they're in a better position. All right, last game, the other most important game this week. Winning in Ravens Steelers. Joseph. This is Sunday Night Football.
This might be the craziest take I've ever said on this podcast, but the fact that Lamar Jackson is playing is the reason why the Ravens are going to lose this game. I think that they're going to, shy away from giving Derrick Henry the football, and I think that's just a bad move if you're Todd Monken because the Steelers can't stop the run to save their lives. And I only think that Derrick Henry's going to get 12 or 15 carries in this game because Lamar Jackson is going to take over. He's going to drop back to pass. He's not going to be that electrifying Lamar Jackson with all these injuries that he's had. He's going to take a lot of sacks, and they're going to force a lot of turnovers. And I think that the Steelers offense, they're also going to get shut down, but they're going to have shorter fields to work with because the Steelers yes, DK Metcalf went crazy in the last time they matched up against the Ravens, and he's not playing in this game. But they get Calvin Austin back healthy. I think Jonnu Smith's going to find a big role in this offense, and they're going to do just enough. So I think Lamar being in the lineup hurts their chances a little bit because it's flashy. They want to get him going with the football, and I just don't think that he's ready for this. If Huntley was playing, it'd be 35 carries again for Derrick Henry, and they would win this game. They'd win time of possession. But right now, I think the Steelers at home, I think that they are slightly better than the Ravens. They've played slightly better than the Ravens all season, and I think they deserve it a little bit more, and I think that they will win just because Lamar Jackson is in the lineup.
Yeah, I've got the Ravens, and in my opinion, it all comes down to one thing, and that thing is DK Metcalf. Him not being in this game, I think, is the most enormous game changer because Aaron Rodgers, like, I don't really care that Calvin Austin's back, man. I'm sorry. I don't like, yeah, you can get a jet sweep. Cool, man. But like DK Metcalf, I just can't, like, he is that passing offense, in my opinion, and he's not there. And he let his team down at the biggest moment. And I think that this is going to be kind of that ultimate, like, look what you've done kind of situation because like I can't see this Pittsburgh Steelers offense moving the ball regardless of how poor this Ravens defense has been because like they just don't have guys and there's nowhere for Aaron Rodgers to go with the football unless they get this run game like just humming and they're running the football like crazy. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to make things happen in the clutch and this is going to be a close game I think because both these teams are going to be fighting hard, but I just don't know where Rodgers goes with the football in those key moments. And then for the Ravens, I think they're going to run the crap out of the football here because Steelers have not had that great of a run defense this year overall, and I think that like they need to be careful in this situation because Lamar getting injured in this game, your playoff hopes are done. And I think that you need to run the ball with Henry and Keaton Mitchell and just like keep Lamar kind of on ice. Yes, he has to play in this game because you need your best players out there to make the playoffs, but at the same time, I think you got to keep him in the background here, and I think they'll be smart because they're a well-coached team and they know that this season is a lot more than just making the playoffs for them. So they'll keep Lamar as that kind of game manager in this game. They'll get Henry and Keaton Mitchell the football, and then Aaron Rodgers is just going to be throwing to grass because there won't be anyone downfield to catch the ball. Sad. I'm excited for that game too. That's going to be a good one. All right, Joseph. Balls of Steel lock of the week. I have a chance to get back to 500. You've fallen into a deep, deep hole this season, but you know we still have the playoffs.
Over the Buccaneers. I just don't think that Buccaneers are even motivated to win. I don't even think they want to win the playoffs. Honestly, I don't think they have a chance against the 5 seed, whoever it may be, and that's an easy first round playoff exit. So the Panthers at least give you somewhat of a fighter's chance for that game to be competitive. I think they'll be a lot more competitive than the Buccaneers, and I think that they don't want the Falcons to determine how their season ends. I think that they'll put it in their own hands, and the Panthers will win against the Buccaneers.
It definitely does feel like a team to the Bucks who just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like we want to go to Cabo. Give us our vacation. I've got the Seahawks over the 49ers. I'm riding with my boys, man. They're gonna lead me to victory here. Sam Darnold, he'll play the best game of his life, throw for 400 yards. You know, no, but I really just think it comes down to the defense. I think Nick Emanwari is going to be an absolute weapon in this game. I just think they're going to be able to stop the run. It's going to be all on Brock Purdy, and I think that this Seahawks team, they know Brock Purdy, and Mike McDonald's going to make his life difficult because he knows how to beat Brock Purdy. So it's going to come down to that. It's going to be a tight game, but I think Seattle comes out on top in this one. So give me them. And then last but not least, Joseph, our award predictions. We're going to start with the less interesting ones, get to the more interesting ones. But let's start off with Coach of the Year here. You had Sean Payton to start the season, who honestly could still win it. Not a bad pick. I had Aaron Glenn, which looks like a terrible pick now. I really believed in the Jets before this season, man, and it has not gone well.
Yeah, I to distinguish Sean Payton for a little bit, just because he got he's probably getting the 1 seed and the way the Broncos were last year. But I gotta pick Ben Johnson, bro. The fact no one expected them to win the division. Everyone thought that they were last in the division, especially how the other 3 teams looked last year. And you just come in and you completely change the culture. And it's not because your
Yeah.
in the playoffs with Trubisky there and all that stuff. So this feels like a different culture. I think Ben Johnson has completely changed it, and all credit goes to him. I think he's the number one reason for their success, and that's what makes Coach of the Year to me. So that's why I have him.
Yeah, 100%. I've got him too. I just think that it's exactly what you said. He created a culture there, and that's the biggest thing. And like going into the season, they had the second hardest strength of schedule behind the Giants, and look what they did. And obviously things changed with the strength of schedule, but they are 12-3 right now, or 12-4 right now, and they could be 13-4. Like they are the 2 seed right now in the NFC. They look like a legit team who is tough to beat. And I think that it all comes down to Ben Johnson because, like you said, the defense is not that good. Caleb Williams is having a solid year, but by no means like an MVP caliber season. Like it is truly just Ben Johnson's scheme is the reason they're winning. They're able to win close games. They play tough football, and they just like this team is Ben Johnson, and I think that that is 100% why he should win this award. He is the Chicago Bears, and he is the reason that they are anywhere as good as they are right now because there's not like yes things have changed but like other than the offensive line there wasn't a lot of big changes and look how different the results are from last year to this year. All right, next up, our favorite award, comeback player of the year.
Hutchinson, man. I had Aiden Hutchinson in before the season, and I'm still sticking with him just because he's picked up right where he left off last year before he broke his leg, and he's looked like an elite performer. And there's not a lot of guys who have come back from injury and just played really good football, really elite football. And I think Aiden Hutchinson is the only guy that's done that, and it's a true testament to the gruesome injury that he suffered last year and just to pick up right where he left off. And I think a lot of people are taking it for granted, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. You should see a digression from him, and you just haven't all year. So he's been the entire Detroit Lions defense. He's been an absolute animal, wreaking havoc, getting a lot of pressures on the quarterback, and that's why he should be comeback player of the year. For that injury to happen and to just pick up right where he left off, it's a true testament to his work ethic.
He's going to be a monster this year, I think, in my opinion. Like, or next year, sorry, 1 year removed from that injury. God, the league is going to be on notice. For me, I have Philip Rivers. This is a stupid award, and like I don't know, man. Give it to the guy. He is literally the comeback player of the year. He left the NFL for 5 years and came back. Like, who else do you give it to? I mean, this award's a joke, anyways, and you might as well award Philip Rivers. It's also really funny to give him his second comeback player of the year award that he's won. So like, I don't know. I don't really have a good explanation. I just like Philip Rivers literally came back. So, I don't know. Give me him.
He's not
I know.
record for all-time passing yards. It's like, what is
Damn.
what
See,
is
he's respectful. He respects the greats. So, I don't know. He just deserves it. He's humble. He like came out of nowhere and just started for this team, basically an emergency quarterback, but yeah, why not? I don't know if he's eligible. I don't maybe is there a like amount you need for comeback player of the year? I have no idea how it works. But regardless, dumb award. Get rid of it. Defensive rookie of the year, Joseph.
I don't know how to say. I will butcher it till the day I die, honestly. But this guy's been an absolute beast. Seventh in the league in tackles with 142, and to do that as a rookie, he's just the heartbeat of that defense. There's not a lot of guys to pick from, and he's been the most consistent guy. He's second round pick, first pick in the second round out of Notre Dame, and he's been absolutely filthy, and he's making clean tackles. He's making surefire tackles, and the defense ticks because of this guy. You have a heartbeat. It's the soul of the defense is obviously Miles Garrett, but this guy, he's the quarterback, he's the communicator, and I love everything that he's doing. He's making that defense elite because it has to be more than just Miles Garrett. This guy's playing at elite level. The secondary's playing at elite level, and I think Carson Schwessinger is more than deserving of the defensive rookie.
I like it. I have Nick Eamon. I was looking at the stats here. It might have been before this weekend of games, but or no, I guess it would have been after. They have almost the exact same amount of solo tackles, Nick Eamon. It's like I think it's only like 7 or 8 different, maybe up to 10, but still, Eamon is a safety. They have the same amount of sacks. Nick Eamon also has 11 pass breakups this season. He has 2 interceptions. Like he has just been exactly what this defense needed in Seattle, in my opinion. Playing as a rookie, he's so athletic, and Mike McDonald trusts him. Like he has him playing that Kyle Hamilton role, and he's played it to perfection. He can blitz, he can sit back in coverage, make plays. He's just smart. He's instinctual. And like he's been playing great football as a rookie. I think he's the key to this Seattle defense in a lot of ways, especially in the secondary. He's just come on and had these insane performances on all aspects of the game. And I think that just he's been so impactful to the Seattle defense, and his numbers aren't that different from a guy like Carson Schweitzinger, except he's a safety. So I've just been so impressed with what he's been able to do this year, and Demon War is my pick. And for the record, uh, oh, I forgot to say, for comeback player of the year, I chose Caleb Williams before the season. You chose Aiden Hutchinson, so you stuck with your pick. I know it's stupid, man. I will always choose stupid options. And then I chose Malachi Starks for defensive rookie of the year, and you chose Jalen Walker. And then for offensive rookie of the year here, Joseph, you had a Marion Hampton. I had Ashton Genty. This was honestly, I think, the hardest award for me to pick because there's just no one who really stood out.
Picking Seth McMillan in this one. I wanted to pick Aguka, but he just fell off a cliff, and Seth McMillan was the guy. I mean, he has put together a quiet season. He's close to 1,000 yards, I'm pretty sure.
He
Seven
should get it this week.
receptions, and yeah, I just love Seth McMillan. I think he's the number one. He's the clear number one, and a lot of people before the draft were really questioning him as a number one wide receiver in his route tree. They just thought he was an athletic freak, and I really thought he put that to bed this year. He was a reliable target for Bryce Young. He was their deep threat, and he's just put up a really good performance, and he was always consistent. I think he was the most consistent rookie of the year, and that's why he should win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I like it. I don't know. This is such a hard award to pick for me, and I think I'm changing my answer from what I had. I had Travion Henderson down here, but I just can't do it. It's got to be Tyler Shuck. I think, like this guy. I know he didn't play the whole season, but 5-3 record with the Saints. A Saints team going back to that lost episode again. On that episode, I said the Saints were going to win 2 games this season, and before Tyler Shuck came in, that prediction looked great. And then he comes in and he just changed everything. 5-3 record, like I said, and he is just like he's smart. He doesn't turn the football over. He's sneaky good with his legs. Like he has really made an impact on the ground for this team. He's just changed his offense. Chris Olave was having a good season, and then Shook came in, and I think he took that season to another level. He's been able to use these receivers. Like this is a pretty depleted offense, I would say overall, but he just made it work, and he's led this Saints team to victories over some tough opponents. I mean, they beat the Bucks, which isn't necessarily saying much, but like the Bucks are a better team in my opinion. They've beat the I think they beat the Panthers too a bit earlier. Like they've had some really solid wins so far. So I think that this Saints team is just hitting its stride. Shucks thrown for like 2,500 yards, what like 16 touchdowns or something, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Like it's not crazy numbers, but at the same time, I think that like in a season where no rookie has really been outstanding, like this is a guy who has made a huge impact on his team and has just changed the trajectory of this Saints team going forward.
I'm so high on the Saints next year.
I know. I'm excited about him. Like he actually looks like a quarterback who can make a difference for the Saints team, and I feel like all these other guys just do not give me that. Like Genty and Hampton were solid, but again, they like Hampton missed some time, and Genty just like that Raiders team is dysfunctional. And then like Tet had a good season, but it wasn't like 1,500 yards as a rookie or something. Like it was solid. So it just like at least like I feel like Shuck has just made an impact. All right, defensive player of the year. I had Aiden Hutchinson before the season. You had Will Anderson, but this is a no-brainer, Joseph. We don't have to stick on this long, and I know you won't want to.
The sack record against them, but we'll see.
Kind of an asshole move, man. I feel like Miles Garrett. I think said after the game he was like, "Yeah, they were just trying to That was their whole game plan, was just trying to stop me from getting it, which is hilarious. We'll see what happens against the Bengals for him next week. But yeah, I mean, 22 sacks. No one's within like 5 sacks of him right now. So it's just such an impressive season for Miles Garrett. I love Miles Garrett as a player. Like he is just such a force. He's good in the. He's not like he's not just a pass rusher is the big thing for me. He's great in the run game. He gets tackles for loss. He's physical and he's just dominant. Like he's a guy who can I mean, just look at the numbers. 22 sacks. That's more than a sack per game. Like he is just so productive. He's so dominant and I mean, he deserves this award. There's no one even close. All right. Offensive player of the year. I didn't have one written down. I don't remember who I picked, honestly. And I can't find out because that episode was corrupted and we can't even listen to the file. So, oh, okay. Derrick Henry. Not a terrible pick, but you had Puka Nakua before the season, and it looks like you're sticking by your guy. It's funny you said McCaffrey is the favorite, and then neither of us picked him. I've got JSN. I mean, how can I not have JSN, my guy? But for me, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Best numbers in the league is a wide receiver, 1,700 yards, 113 receptions right now, 10 touchdowns, and I mean, he's going to be a big part of that game next week, I'm sure. So who knows what those final numbers will look like? But for me, I think it's just what it comes down to is JSN is the Seahawks passing offense. Like there is no one else there that really even comes close. Like you haven't seen Elijah Arroyo really hit his stride. AJ Barner's been great in the red zone, but he's not a guy who can like take over the game. Cooper Cup has not been that guy at all for them this season. He's made some spot plays, but he's not been reliable. Torrey Horton looked like that guy, but he's missed a lot of time with injury. So you've really had to rely on JSN through the air. That has been like so much of your passing game. Sam Darnold relies on him so much, and he just shows up week in, week out. And the numbers have slowed down a bit, but you've seen him. He's targeted like crazy, and he makes up for it. Like he gets those gets the points he produces. He's having an insanely efficient season. Like I just he is so valuable to Seattle on that other side of the ball for me, and just his value compared to everyone else around him is crazy because there's no one else in Seattle that can do what he does or even comes close. And then when you look at a team like the Rams, for example, with Puka, like Adams is there, right? Like he can have 100-yard game, 10 catch, 100-yard game. He's been a beast in the red zone this year. Adams has, so you have that support in the pass game. But for Seattle, there's really no one else outside of JSN. So that's why I have JSN. And the last award, the most important award, another honestly kind of no brainer after Stafford really dropped the ball in on Monday Night Football against the Falcons here. The MVP, who is it? Yes. Doesn't even matter. 100%. Drake May gets this award for sure, in my opinion. Like, so impressive. Second year winning an MVP. Like, he just looks so good. He does everything. He can throw it through the air over 4,000 yards. He has 30 passing touchdowns. And then he does it on the ground. He has like 400 rushing yards or something like that. Like five rushing touchdowns. Like, he just does everything for this Patriots team. He's the entire offense. Their run game has not been that good this year, and it doesn't even matter. No one talks about that because of how good Drake May has been. And like really the only argument against him is a schedule, but I think in an individual award like this, it doesn't matter. Like he has the numbers, he has the wins, he's put the Patriots in this spot, and I think that that makes him deserve the MVP for sure. And I think it's nice because I like this Patriots team, and I feel like it's been hard, or like I've been struggling with that. Because I'm like, I feel like I should hate them because they, like the Patriots, like they were good so recently. And it's like, how did they luck into this? But at the same time, for me, it's a completely new regime. You don't have Belichick, you don't have Brady. It's a completely different team, and I think that's why they're likable again. Is you have Vrabel, you have May, and it's just different than what was there before. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ball Watchers podcast. We will be back next week with another episode. We'll be a bit more consistent in our days going forward now that we're back to school. I think next week, over the holidays, it's a busy time. We had to move some things around, but make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ball Watchers Pod, TikTok at Ball Watchers Pod, and we've been streaming everything on YouTube. Thank you for anyone who's watched on YouTube over there. Looks like there's some people in the stream right now, so thank you very much. And yeah, follow us or subscribe there at Ball Watchers, and we'll be back next week with another episode. Stay up, Ball Watchers.